Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Pretty Little Liars podcast, brought to you by the SC9TV podcast. For Pretty Little Liars, Season 5, Episode 2, Whirly Girl. I'm host Dom, and with me I have my co-host,
Hey guys.
Heather. How's it going?
It's going.
How's it
Sorry, I
going?
didn't hear you. It's going.
It's going. That's good. So, how was your cat today?
That could be taken in many different ways. I'm already done. She is being a pain. She's sitting right beside me. And I have the dog next to me as well, like, looking up at me, going, are you going to talk to me too? So, I have, like, 2 animals near me. There's another dog. It's a mess.
Excellent. So, this felt more like a season premiere, which they kind of stated. So, what were your opinions on this?
It was slow. It felt like a filler episode. That's all.
It did, and this is typically why I hate season premieres, because they all kind of do that. They have way too much stuff to set up, and that's all this felt like, was just little meaningless setups that will eventually pay off. They had to be done, set up somewhere, but
it was definitely just another one of those, okay, so here's where everybody stands kind of episodes.
Yep. Was it weird for you to see Allison back?
She wasn't really interacting with anybody, though. She's holed up in a house.
She was, but I mean, she was in the police station, and she was at her gravestone.
That was a little weird. The gravestone. Going to her own gravestone was nice to see a little bit of a shred of humanity in her. Yeah. Yeah, we see like a glimmer of humanity.
How do you know that she didn't do that knowing that Mona was following her? Yeah. So, like, the first thing that they do is they all get together and they decide that they're going to tell the police everything. But then when they get there, at the very last minute, Allison decides that she's going to fabricate one of her big elaborate stories and schemes and everything. Why do you think she chose to do that rather than just tell the truth?
I mean, she's obviously going to be protecting Cece. She's going to... Maybe she's protecting Allison. Maybe she's protecting Aria. Maybe. I think she's still scared to say what's really going on. She knows something. She knows who A is or something. I don't know. She knows something that she's not telling the girls.
I don't know if she knows who A is. I don't think she does at this point. But yeah, I do agree with you. She knows something. There's something she's not telling us. I wouldn't be surprised with like we brought this up last episode, Jason's twin. I wouldn't be surprised if she knows about that. I see your cat wants in on the podcast.
Does. There's not exactly any telling her no either. She'll kind of just come right back, so.
Yeah, that's how my cat is. So, yeah, I mean, she could very well know about the twin. If that's even the case, we're just speculating that Jason's got the twin.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure, but they're kind of they spend a decent amount of this episode like setting Jason up for something. Like he's acting very mysterious. He's emotionless. He's almost like
sneaking
sinister
around, seeing somebody somewhere. He's been in New York for God knows what reason.
Right. He stood there watching Allison sleep. That was
creepy. I'm sorry. I mean, even if my boyfriend stood in the doorway and was like staring at me and watching me sleep, I would probably freak the hell out. That's just.
That's like the scene in Paranormal Activity. The girl's just standing there for like 2 hours, just rocking back and forth.
Man, I mean it's creepy. I don't know, especially when it's your sibling.
Yeah. And then Jason went and visited somebody at some apartments, and Hannah and... Was it Emily? Or Hannah and Spencer? I don't
Hannah and... Emily.
I think it was Emily,
because Emily is the one who said Step on it. Let's follow her. Him.
Right.
Him, her, it.
Him. Yeah. Do you think like this whole mysterious behavior is further supporting our
I
twin
really
theory?
do. I mean, he's so shut off from everybody. Like he's acting weird. He's acting like he's hiding something. He's acting suspicious.
It's almost
Almost as if he's two different people. Because I mean, when we first saw him in the very, very beginning of the entire show, he had emotion, he had character depth, he kissed Aria. You know, he had those
Right.
emotions, and he left and went to rehab. And now that he's back, he's pretty much just a walking, talking mannequin.
Yeah. Like, and then the lady goes and drops off Pepe, the dog, and he's like, "No, get that out of here!" Like,
why are you so against? What? Why are you
What?
so against a harmless little dog that?
If his mother wanted the dog, why is he
No
like
dog.
so adamant that he doesn't want this dog?
I mean, is the dog gonna notice? Maybe. Like my whole theory is that he's afraid that while he's off switching spots with his twin brother, that the dog's gonna notice that the scent is different.
That very well could be it. What, the dog could end up liking one of them and not the other. It's just, I'm gonna be very disappointed if he's not a twin. Like if he does not have a twin.
If it's not Jason, I'm gonna be like, what the hell? He's just that psycho.
I mean, the other theory going around was that it was Mrs. D. And it'd be interesting because Mrs. D is now dead.
The thing is that I haven't seen enough.
But it wouldn't be
I haven't
shocking.
seen enough character built on her to actually even care if she had a twin.
Right. Yeah.
It would just okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
It'd just be like, wait, why is she alive? Yeah. Like, we just saw her dead. That would be, like, the only reason for it. Right. Like, some kind of shock value at that point. And, I mean, within the last 2 months, we had her and Mr. DiLaurentis decided on having a divorce and all that. So, I mean, there's little stuff needed where it could actually support her as well, because maybe she started acting like a different person and they were switching plate. You know, we don't know. We don't know for sure. Maybe the one that died was the twin. You know, maybe. It could be either Mrs. D or Jason. I'm leaning more toward Jason.
Like, Jason has such a story to him. He's got so much character built over him. There's been so much that's happened to him and so much character change that it's really their best bet.
Yeah, there is for sure. Another character that's been acting a little shady is Mona. She's handing out whistles now. Like rape whistles for the girls. Or whatever. Yeah, that's a little weird. Like, why is she sucking up to the town all the time?
Why is she still playing this, oh, I'm a good person phase?
Yeah, it just... Does she feel like now that Allison's back, she's going to be, like, left in the dust again, so she's trying to, like, overcompensate for that? Or... I don't really even know.
I don't know what to say about Mona. Like, she's so... Yeah, she's bad. It's like every time you see her, you just don't quite know what to expect from her because, I mean, she was being all nice there for a minute when she was talking. I think it was when she was talking to Allison. She was being nice for a minute. Or was it Aria? No, it was it? It was Aria.
It was Aria when she handed her
and she was like, take this whistle. It was when she found Mona with her brother again. Right.
Right.
Because she was...
Yeah, and what's the deal with Mona and Mike?
They're gonna get back together?
Does she really feel something for him?
I mean, I think in a way she does, but she's just so wrapped up in what she's trying to do that she doesn't want to be distracted.
It seems like she's using him to get into the house, because every time there's like something going on. But Mike is so in love with her. He is. He's like blinded by it. Love is blind. So, but then Aria, she's like, she spends this whole episode, she's super stressed out. I mean, can you blame her? She did kill Shauna. Like, but then she's like running out in the woods and like putting sleeping bags down in the shed and making it look
It
like,
is
I mean,
smart.
that's
It was a
smart.
smart move, but it
Don't
was
get me
also
wrong.
very just random. She's eccentric right now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm used to seeing Arya act a little eccentric and blowing things a little out of proportion because she does kind of tend to but she does. I mean, she does blow things out of proportion and kind of overreact to stressful situations just slightly.
Just
She
slightly.
pops off at the mouth and kind of ready to start fights and stuff. But
Just like when she very minorly overreacted in Ezra's apartment
yeah,
last season.
very minorly. I mean, she only broke like everything
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I'm surprised she
Right?
didn't set the place on fire.
She definitely wins over attached girlfriend meme of the year award.
That she does. That she does. She's even more upset though when she finds out that her friends are withholding more information from her. The text Allison had gotten about New York and all that stuff. And I mean, do you blame her friends from keeping that from her, or do you think they should have said something?
In a way, they should have said something, but in a way, I could see why they didn't. She does kind of go off the deep end when there's shit that piles up on her plate.
Right. But then when
They
she
know she's
finds
going to be
out,
pissed.
yeah, so
It's like a double-edged sword.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lose-lose situation. Because she would have been mad no matter, or mad, not mad, but she would have been upset no matter what. And
There would have been some kind of overacted emotion coming from either.
yeah, yep. Then it was revealed that Mona, when she was in the mausoleum with Allison, that she was the one that sent the text to Allie about New York.
No.
You kind of surprised that Mona did that? Do you think she's involved still with this whole A? Because we don't really know that A's back for sure. All that we saw was the text message, which we assumed A, but it wasn't signed by A. So I was like, I mean,
it didn't.
But then Arya's iPod is getting messed around with.
No, and.
But then they kind of hinted that might have been Mike.
Really weird.
So was there really something going on there, or because Mike was like, I borrowed the iPad, I put music on it.
I mean, it's again. Producers have us pointing in like 30 different directions, and we don't know which way is up at this point.
No, we certainly don't. We even have stuff like even though Melissa wasn't in this episode,
this
right?
huge thing last week where we just wanted to know what the hell she's hiding, and then this week they're like, oh, LOL, she's not here.
Right, yeah. But Toby comes back. He was in London, and I remember that now because I remember him knocking on the door, and I remember Ren. I knew it began with a W. I wanted to call him Wilden, but I knew that was wrong, so I didn't. Yes. Yeah, so he said Melissa lied about seeing him
Melissa
in London.
wasn't even there.
Yeah, where do you think she was?
And why is she with Ren? Is she back with Ren? Did I miss something? Last I heard, her and Ren were like still catfighting. Yeah, so why is Ren answering the door and saying he lives there now? If Melissa, what is going on?
The last we saw Ren, other than at that apartment, was in the the place. I can't think of the name of it.
No, we saw. Did we not see a scene where Toby knocked on the door and talked to Ren?
Well, yeah, I mean, other than that scene. It jumped from him being in the asylum to there. Like, we have not seen him between that, so we have really no clue. I mean, we saw it was Ren's prescription that ended up being written for Spencer last season. That was like the most we saw out of him.
That was it. And we do know that those prescription pads, A had them somehow, some way.
Right. Which was Shauna. We're assuming it was Shauna.
I don't think Shauna is A. I mean,
I'm sure we're gonna find out. I think Shauna was part
Yes,
of the
I
A
think that,
team.
but I don't think she
Um,
was, because I mean, she did work with Allison in the beginning, and until she met Jenna and fell in love with Jenna, she wasn't part of the A team.
we don't know that for sure because that was around
Mhm.
Ravenswood time, and I don't know. Shauna was around before Ravenswood still, so I don't know. She could have been gathering intel and found out like how much of a bitch I guess Allison actually was, and decided to start doing
Right.
something then. I don't know. I don't know. We're going to
Yeah.
need some more backstory on the Shauna thing, when exactly she got involved, and I'm hoping
Yeah,
we
I'm
see it
really
this
hoping we
season.
start to like
Um,
narrow down who exactly A is, find out what Melissa really did, what she had a part of it, because it's starting when you get episodes like it was this week where it was really slow, it's really starting to remind me how much it's like just, ugh, I can't even, it's just, it takes
yeah.
it forever sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, like the big part of this episode was obviously the very end when the
Right.
dog now Pepe goes and finds
Yeah.
Mrs. D's body, and we I know me and Umi were speculating at the end of last season whether or not she was actually dead. We both came to the conclusion
Yep,
she
she's
was
dead.
not dead, but she's dead. So did that
No,
actually
I
surprise you?
thought she
Like,
was,
were you thinking this
I
whole
knew she
time
was
she was
dead, and I
alive?
didn't think she was gonna live.
Because I mean, we didn't see her get stabbed or anything. She just got beaten over the
Well,
head and buried.
apparently,
So we
you also
just
have to
thought,
remember, Allison got beaten over the head and buried. She was left for dead.
right.
She just wasn't in the hole, was in the hole. We don't know if she, because at one point they were like, well, she was in the hole and then she came to and dug herself out and they put somebody else in the hole.
See, this whole thing, it like, all right. So we had last season. The mother spent a lot of time with Allison's room. Emily was staying over there, like that whole thing, and the room was supposedly left
Right.
exactly the way it was. But do you not remember in season one when Maya moved into that house and all of Allison's
Mhm.
stuff was by the curb? Like, what
Yeah,
did they
exactly. Like,
retcon that?
what about Maya? And then also, Emily found, like, we have where somebody else moved in, all of her stuff was moved to the attic, like, or to the curb and stuff. So, how did her stuff come back? What, did they move it out and then move it back in and put it back exactly the way it was? Or are we pulling a Ravenswood where Maya never really existed and she was just a ghost? Like, what are we doing?
That would actually be interesting. I would actually prefer that
where
story.
where Maya was just a figment of everybody's
Um,
imagination.
we do know for sure Ravenswood will be tied up in
Yes.
3 more episodes, episode
And
5.
then
Well, I don't know for sure if it's getting tied in that particular episode,
I
but
know.
that's when Caleb comes back, so I'm assuming they're gonna have to touch on how
I am
that
so excited for
finale,
Tyler coming back.
because
I've missed Caleb.
yeah, because at the end of Ravenswood, he gets like sucked out into
Right.
the past, and he's living as like the alternate version of Caleb, like his ancestor. And we didn't ever get to find out what happened with that. So
You know,
I don't know. I was not a huge fan of Ravenswood. Last 4 episodes, whatever, really
I
good. They were. The beginning of the
I
season,
watched
awful.
like 2 episodes. I tried. I couldn't.
That's what I did. And then when it ended up coming back after the winter break, that's when I decided to go back and
I
struggle my
might
way
sit
through it.
down and
But
try to watch it now that it's over just to see what it was so I can have that story of where Caleb was.
yeah, it's really, if you can push past the first 4 episodes, because those are the
It's
most painful. If you can get through those,
like I
it's
would like
not
to
bad.
know more history on
And
where Caleb what it was and what he has because I know it's going to come up. And
yeah, they said that it's going to conclude.
yeah,
They're
and
going to tie it up.
briefly, all
So
I know is that Caleb has given his vow that he's going to protect this girl, and Hannah immediately takes it as he's in love with her, he's cheating on her, he's with her. And as far as I
right.
know, Caleb wasn't doing anything like that. Yeah, because she's a ghost.
But the ancestor Caleb and her were in love. They were like married or something.
They together.
Yeah, it was weird.
So Hannah overreacted. She pulled a typical girl moment.
Yeah. I mean, they're supposedly teenagers. They're supposed to be in high school still, right? They're not in college yet, so they're still. So I have to give them some leeway and excuse it. I do. But getting back to Mrs. DiLaurentis, how do you think the town? I guess not necessarily the town, but like the main cast is gonna react to this. Obviously, Allison's gonna be kind of upset.
Did you
but what
see
about
Allison?
The girls?
How she was standing there just staring? She looked.
Yeah,
she looked like dead. She had her hoodie on. Like she actually. I think it's the first time we've actually seen real pain come from her. You know, as far as the girls go, this is going to be the sign. You know, A's not done. They thought with A, all the killings would be over. All the people who were dying were going to be done with, and you know, here it is. You know, welcome home. Here's the dead mom.
Yep. Yeah, what a great.
Yeah, and so now I bet the girls are going to be trying to figuring out what did she know, who did she know, how does she play in this, and they're going to try to find out that email.
Yeah, which Jason's twin.
It's got to be.
Calling it.
I can't protect you anymore.
It's got to be one of her kids. It's the only person she's gonna like put her life on the line.
That's all she lives for.
Because even if I don't know if it was her, maybe I'm still not dismissing the fact that it could be a twin sister. She could have a twin sister. Because she would be just as protective of her sister.
I'm gonna go with Jason.
That sister bond is pretty close. I'm gonna go with
Jason.
No, Jason makes the most sense, but I'm not gonna completely rule out Mrs. D having a twin. And she dropped. So here I am by myself talking to myself. She's gone.
I am back. I dropped randomly. That was really weird. I don't normally. Why can't I put my camera on? Wow.
I don't know.
Thank you, Skype, for breaking on me. This is. What? Do I not have a camera suddenly?
You suddenly do not have a camera.
I'm going to just restart the call really quick. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. She's gone. Now I can't answer the call. For some reason, this is the best. This is the absolute best. I'm gonna actually just close Skype. So this is what we get for doing it live.
Skype just was like not working.
Yeah.
Okay. So while I was derping around and trying to figure out what was wrong with my internet, I also looked up the Miss DiLaurentis has a twin sister theory. And the theory that's going around right now is that Miss DiLaurentis has a twin sister. The girl that is supposed to be in Allie's grave, who is Sarah Harvey's, could be the kid that Spencer killed because Spencer was on drugs. She might have thought she killed Allie. And they're thinking that Sarah Harvey's might be the kid of Miss DiLaurentis' twin sister. And at the end of the last episode last season, or whichever season it was last season, I think, that it wasn't Miss DiLaurentis that was standing in Spencer's room, but Sarah's mother.
See, it's still, that makes just as much sense as Jason having a twin. I feel like that Jason is more probable, But like I said, I'm not ruling Mrs. D out because
Right,
that
now
makes
that
a
I've
whole
read
lot of sense. And those girls that we met, like
They
that
were
were friends
so
of this other
weird.
girl, they they were, but like I felt that they needed more time. Like they were not around very long, and I felt like they should have been more. They set them up like almost like they were the equivalent to
Mhm.
these girls, and they just didn't spend a whole lot of time with them. A lot less time than I felt they deserved. So I don't
Right.
think we've seen the last of them.
Right, because it would make sense for Sarah to be mistaken then as Allie, because obviously the daughters of twins are going to look a lot alike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Not rolling it
Now that
out.
I've heard it,
Not by
I
any
could
means.
see that one. I could see that one, but if it is that one, I feel like Mrs. D should have gotten a little more respect in the show, like a little more screen time.
Unless Mrs. D didn't actually
Right,
die and it was her
right.
sister that died. So, but yeah, I think that about does it for this episode. There anything else you
No, I
think we
mean,
missed other than
oh,
Hannah
that was
needing to
great.
change her underwear?
That was the highlight of my night. No, I mean, I'm looking over a couple of theories. I mean, as I said, this episode was kind of yeah. Um, see, the other one that I'm getting for the theory with Miss D having the twin is that Toby's mother is the twin sister of Miss DiLaurentis. Because then there's your Radley Institute. So, and we also have to remember that we did see something, what was it? Somebody was going in and out of the the mental institute seeing Toby's mom with the name C. DiLaurentis.
Yeah, there was
So
that.
maybe, maybe, maybe.
Hmm.
But Toby's mom is supposedly dead.
And I specifically I remember something else too that there was maybe it wasn't DiLaurentis. I don't know. I remember a ledger or something somewhere. I think it was like on the hotel
Right.
that Allison may have been staying at. I think there was a DiLaurentis that wasn't
Right.
Allison signature somewhere on like there. It was one of the girls. I think it was DiLaurentis. So I'm gonna have to actually go back and
Right. Yeah, because
find
I'm
out
looking
now.
at this now. It's hmm. There's a couple possibilities. Now that you said something and I've read that, that makes a little bit more sense. Do we know what Mr. DiLaurentis' first name is?
Um, Kenneth
Miss.
DiLaurentis. Oh,
I'm gonna
Mrs.
look
No,
this
I
up.
don't know.
Jessica.
I
Jessica.
think it was Jessica.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, here's a good question. Anyways, yeah, I think other than that, other than just speculations and more of hurting our foreheads and brains over who is who and what's going on, I don't have much on this episode.
Yeah, I'm trying to look through screenshots and stuff that I had. Oh, that's it right there. Let me pull this up for people. I found the page I had. So it's
Oh, okay.
Kavanaugh. Number 6. If you look right here on this page, number
I
6.
don't have your screen
It
share.
says C. Oh yeah. Um,
Oh well.
it won't let me
It's
add
being
screen
restricted.
share for some reason. It says number 6 entry was
Okay.
C. Kavanaugh at 11:30 a.m. to 11:20 a.m. This was the patient sign-in form, I believe, for Radley.
Yeah, so it wasn't DiLaurentis, it was
And
Kavanaugh.
yeah, so it still kind of
Yeah.
supports Toby to some degree, but 11:30 a.m. to 11:20 a.m. There's no way. Oh no, appointment time was 11:30 a.m. Arrival time was 11:20, so they
They
got
were
there
there
10 minutes in
a.
advance.
Hmm.
So
That'd be really awkward though if that was the case, because Toby and Spencer are together, and Spencer's technically half siblings to Jason, which makes her somewhat related to Jason's mom in a twisted sort of way. Be her
yeah,
half mom. No, it'd be like a mother from another brother kind of deal. That'd be really weird.
yeah. Indeed it would. Indeed it would. Um, yeah, so next week the episode is called Surfing the
Yay.
Aftershocks, and in it, Allison struggles with the death of her mother as the liars try to navigate through her new lie.
Ooh.
She's not done. She's still got more lies up her sleeve. So now being forced to live through Allie's latest lie, Aria, Emily, Hannah, and Spencer try to cover their tracks while simultaneously trying to piece together what happened in New York. So it seems like they're on
The work
the
again.
trail of, yeah, of Shauna, and if there was somebody else. And I believe Shauna was the one that was on the rooftop just because of the way that
Yes.
Ezra
I
freaked
still
out.
believe that was her.
I-
I mean, she came into
Yeah.
the theater with the same outfit and the guns, so.
Yep. Yep. Also, Hannah and Aria have to close loose ends with the two people who know the truth about Allie's story, Mona and Ezra. Spencer and Emily tried to find out the truth about Jason and his whereabouts the night they were in New York. And meanwhile, Hannah starts to examine who she really is. Hefty Hannah or Queen Bee Hannah, now that Allie is back.
I'm excited to see Hannah kind of go off the deep end.
Yeah. Well, we know she's got hair extensions for this season. She's got ripped stockings. She's got some eyeliner going on, and some photos we saw last week we posted, right? So
Yeah.
be curious to see. I think she is neither
I
Hefty
think
Hannah
she's
or
going to
Queen
take
Bee
on a
Hannah.
whole new her.
Yep. And it'll be really interesting to see what Caleb has to say about that. Because it looks like we're going to see this transformation happen before
Yeah,
Caleb
it does.
gets
I
here.
think she's going to start slowly slipping into it. I see a lot of
Yep.
closet throwing out clothing at scenes. Like when she broke up with, was it Caleb? When Caleb broke up with her, she started going through all her clothes like Caleb liked the skirt, throwing it away. Yeah, I think there's
pretty
gonna be more of
much.
that.
Pretty much. Yeah, so I think that about wraps things up. Heather, where can the people find you on
Alaris
Twitter?
Rhea, or Alaris_Rhea. It's OLARIS_RHEA.
And you have any other things you would
The
like
only
to
other thing you can
plug?
find me on is you can find me and my boyfriend on Alt F4 Studios on Twitch. We're also on Twitter and Facebook for video games.
Nice. I, on the other hand, have a lower third somewhere. I just don't know where it is. Because I'm so good at this. And I just reformatted my whole computer, so I don't have things like this set up. So there we go. There I am. You can find me down below on Twitter at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM. You can find both of us and more on YouTube, right here, Twitter, Gmail, G+, and Facebook at /ASOTV podcast for some more coverage for podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Till next week, hopefully we will have a little bit of a better episode. Usually, I still consider this the season premiere. So, I've said this multiple times, I don't like season premieres. I never judge a new show by the first episode because of that reason. So, episode 1 was finale part 2. This one, premiere. Next episode should be good. So, till then,
Bye.
See you guys later. I wonder if Hannah's
I have
changing
no
her underwear
idea.
right now.
She's got to clean out that shit stain. that
That literally
that was
literally was
the
the
most
best
amazing
part of
part
the
of
episode.
all of last week's episode or this week's episode. Go after him, follow him. Why? I have to go change my underwear. All because Jason scared the shit out of her.
Literally.